While President Trump's approval rating remains underwater, a new poll shows that most Americans, though, still trust Republicans over Democrats and handling some merry issues, some major issues, rather. CNN's Harry Enten. Merry depends on your perspective, I guess.
I am not married.
I said merry as in happy. Anyway, let's talk about this. What are you seeing?
Yeah, what are we seeing? You know, Donald Trump being underwater, Democrats saying, oh, this guarantees us we're going to fly high in the midterms. Let me tell you, this guarantees you nothing, because at this particular point, the Democrats are the New Orleans Saints of political parties. What are we talking about? Trust the Dems or GOP more on the economy? Who leads on the economy? Republicans by 7. Immigration, Republicans by 13. How about crime? A big issue for Donald Trump and the Republicans. Look at that, lead by 22 points. So the bottom line is this. At this particular point, the ball may be on the ground, but the Democrats have not picked up the ball and running with it. If anything, at this particular point, it's the Republicans who are running with the ball on the top issues, the economy, immigration, and crime.
Give some context on this. Compare this when Republicans last took the House.
Yeah, let's compare it back to 2022. I think this kind of gives away the game right here. Okay, the GOP is more trusted than the Dems on the economy. It was 12 points in 2022. Slight decline in that lead, but still 7 points. How about immigration? It was Republicans by 3 back in 2022. Look at this. The Republican lead's actually gone up by 10 points. What are you doing, Democrats? My goodness gracious. And on crime, the Republicans were up by 13, and now they're up by 22. The lead, again, expanding by nearly double digits. So whatever Democrats are doing, it ain't working, Kate. It ain't working. Republicans have the lead on all 3 issues.
What's the reason that you are finding so far that's driving this?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's all about the center of the electorate, right? You win with independents, you win overall. And what do we see right here among independents? Republicans still have a point lead on the economy. They got a 10-point lead on immigration. They got a 21-point lead on crime. The bottom line is, when you look at these numbers, Democrats should call their offices, because at this particular point, even if Republicans, or even if the public doesn't like what Donald Trump is doing, they ain't necessarily liking what Democrats are doing. And it ain't just a referendum on one party. You actually have to go out and beat that party. At this particular point, Democrats are not able to beat Republicans. They still lead on
And again, this
issues.
isn't as Donald Trump came into office. These are numbers from this month.
These are numbers from September of 2025. We still find that the Republicans leading on all 3 of these issues. And of course, this economy will be the key. If Democrats are going to win, they're going to have to likely win on the economy. At this particular point among independents, you see that 1-point lead for Republicans. And overall, at least according to the Washington Post, they hold a 7-point lead on the economy overall as well.
Thank you, Harry.
Thank you.
Sarah.
All right, joining us now is former New Orleans mayor and former co-chair of the Harris-Walz presidential campaign, Mitch Landrieu. Thank you for being here. You just saw Harry dancing around those numbers, but there is nothing fun about them for Democrats. So it's an interesting conundrum. Trump is underwater in polling still. Republicans, though, largely pass what Trump demands, and still Americans are saying on 3 really big issues that they trust Republicans to take care of it over Democrats. So what is the issue here? What do Democrats need to do?
Well, first of all, welcome back. It's great to see you again. And Harry set me up. You heard that allusion to the New Orleans Saints. He didn't have to do that because he knew I was here. It was unfair. In any event, I've been working on something called the Working Class Project, and our team has traveled. We've had 61 meetings in 21 states, and we're talking to working class folks, people that are making less than $90,000 a year. These are the folks who actually win or lose elections for people. And the fact of the matter is, they don't really trust anybody. They don't trust Washington. They don't think Washington's getting anything done. Nobody really is in a positive zone. Those numbers are who's better than who's, but if you look at the overall numbers, as Harry said, there's a jump ball. And the number one thing that working class people think about is the economy, because they feel like there's been a covenant that has been broken with them, with the government of America, whether they're Republicans or Democrats. And essentially, the American dream, the promise is, if you go to work and you work hard, you're going to get paid well, you're going to be able to put a roof over your head, you're going to be able to pay your rent, you're going to be able to take care of your kids. And by and large, because of the way you run everything with your family, your kids are going to have a better life than you. And most working class people think that that is out of reach, and they're really upset about it. So they're not happy with President Trump or the Republicans, but they're not happy with the Democrats either. So my advice to all of my friends that are running for office, whether you're on the red side or the blue side, and I'm on the blue side, is focus on the things that these people care about the most, because they feel like they're getting left behind. They feel like nobody cares about them, and right now they are underwater in terms of making ends meet, and they're not happy about it. And so that +1 number on the economy is actually a number that is attainable for us. The other two are more difficult. You got to focus on those things. You can be tough and smart on crime. You can believe that immigration is really an important issue, but you don't have to put people in a black hole without due process. There is absolutely a way, because as Harry said, it is a jump ball, but you have to pick it up and you have to put the ball in the hoop.
I do want to ask you about some of the things that we've been hearing from Donald Trump. He said in his speech at the Charlie Kirk Memorial that he hates his opponents and does not want the best for them. But at the same time, Trump is also pushing the Department of Justice to go after his enemies, political enemies. What do you make of this? And should Democrats be afraid? Should they be concerned that there is this push? Outspoken, it's not in the shadows, he's saying it, and he wants Pam Bondi to do something about it.
Well, first of all, the assassination of Charlie Kirk was awful and unacceptable under any terms. There should be no political violence in the United States of America for anyone at any time for the things that they believe in. And of course, that memorial service was an opportunity for the country to start healing and coming back together. And there was a lot of prayer, there was a lot of thought about that. And actually, Charlie Kirk's wife basically said, listen, we really have got to move into a new space. Unfortunately.
And she said she forgave his killer.
That is very consistent with the theory of the way we ought to be treating each other, as hard as that is. But President should bring the country together. He should not be speaking in the terms that he speaks of, and everybody in America should be concerned about that, whether you're a Republican, an Independent, or a Democrat. That is really not about party. That is about who we are as Americans and whether or not we think that we can peacefully coexist in a country with 330 million people of different races, creeds, colors. It is also completely unacceptable for the President of the United States to use his power to hurt his political enemies. That is antithetical to what America is about. So the President should really tone it down. He should take this opportunity to bring the country together, because that's what works for everybody. Unless you have that space, we really even can't have a reasonable debate about the price of housing or the price of cars or the price of energy. That's the thing that people care the most about. And I think every American has reason to be very concerned about the President's decision to say he hates his enemies and he wants to hurt them.
Let me lastly ask you about the prospect. There has been some reporting on Axios about the prospect of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez potentially running for either Schumer's Senate seat or the presidential candidacy in 2028. When you look at her and that possibility, what do you think of her as a potential candidate for these two?
Well, first of all,
positions?
she like Charlie Kirk, both of them have a charism that attracts tons of different people. Yeah. In 2028, you're going to see a plethora of candidates that span the entire spectrum. So I'll say have at it. She's got a bright future ahead of her. Whether or not she can get elected to the Senate or to the presidency, who the heck knows? But I don't think you can deny that she has really tapped into something for her constituents that make her feel really good. I happen to like her very much. What I would say to whoever's running, especially on the Democratic side, and you can see this with Abigail Spansberger in Virginia and Mikey Sherrill in New Jersey, you can actually see it in New York. Those people that focus on the cost of living and you make sure that the working class people see you, and make sure that you see them and hear them. They're concerned about health care costs. They're primarily concerned about housing. They're concerned about prices as well. So when you go to them and talk about democracy, which is a really important issue, what they say to me is, hey, Mitch, while you're saving democracy, can you save me a couple of pennies so that I can support my family and put a roof over my head? Because if I can't do that, I can't breathe, and I actually don't have time to think about it, especially working class moms who are working 2 or 3 jobs, have to go home and take care of their father. They got to take care of their grandparents. They got their kids. They are completely, on just really in a bad way right now. And they want somebody to see them and help them fix their problems. And the people who do that are going to do well.
You're touching on something that we just talked about, which is the price of everything is going up. Childcare, health care, homes, cars.
Well, remember, President Trump came into office and said, I alone can fix it. And when I get in office, I'm gonna reduce the price of gas by half within 8 months. I am gonna fix the war in Ukraine. I'm gonna fix the war in Gaza. Everything's in chaos. Everything is a mess. But as Harry just said, you can't just criticize. You got to pick up the ball. You got to put it in the hoop. And as Democrats, if we want to lead, we have to come up with answers to those problems. And if people think that we see them and trust them or focused on their issues, that's who they're going to put back in office.
It's great to have you. Thank you, Mitch, for coming on this morning.
Nice to see you again.
And I'll talk to Harry about the dig against the Saints. I'll talk to him.
Saints going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, no. A prediction. Finally, we've got a good prediction.
We do that every year we predict it.
We're gonna rerun this to see, because I think the Rams are going. But anyway, that's just me. John, I'm sure you have a team.
Yeah, they lost. Yes, 5 turnovers yesterday. I don't want to talk about that. All right, thank you very much.